Kia ora, welcome to this Time and Tides reading for this full moon in Leo, occurring today and tomorrow, 16th, 17th of February. So let's have a look. It's, one would think, very impassioned, vital, and a lot of fun. So let's just see. Let's look at the overarching energies at the moment. Yeah, a lot of activity moving forward. I mean, moving as in works in motion. Here at this time, there's also a kind of, in the process we have of this with the Chariot, there's a very feminine quality, a very female quality to the Chariot. This is, like a liminal space between formless thought coming into form. We see with the Chariot, it's works in progress. Talk about general overarching energies at this time. With that, we have the Leo card. If there wasn't a Leo card that there ever was, if that makes sense, I'm a bit tongue-tied today. The Strength card is definitely that. Possibly collectively, and this is a general reading. It's a very general reading, and it's for the collective current energies at the moment. We are sort of trying to figure out some things here. We're trying to figure out what we do want to create moving forward. At the same time, we're figuring out our motivations and our intentions, because this is very important to understand. We can be cast by our own spell. We can be cast with spells, and often the channels whereby we are put under a spell is through information that we receive, through media, through various pieces of information, and absorbing the general vibe in our lives. So it's kind of interesting for this full moon in Leo. Let's look at our choices. I think we know what our choices are. Yeah, we need to make some independent decision making. We need to we just hear that we need to stop looking to the state for some sort of support or direction, or we need to become more reliant upon ourselves. I say this because we've got the Nine of Discs, a card of independence, a card of, financial independence, but it traditionally is a metaphor for the soul, this individual enjoying the garden, the animals, the fruits of their labour. But it's more than that. It's having things around you that you value, and they're not necessarily things of a financial nature, I suppose. They can be many and varied. Look, I mean, we can't ignore the fact that there's some big shifts and changes going on, and that maybe collectively we are in the process. I mean, not maybe, I think it's pretty clear. We are in the process of coming into a whole new way of doing things. The crumbling of the old, a setting up of the new. And this period is incredibly uncomfortable. So beneficial to surround ourselves with those things that we do value individually. And actually maybe focusing on the smaller community on our friendship groups, on the people around us, instead of throwing ourselves up against the wall of I don't know, revolution, throwing shit at the state. I mean, when it comes down to it, we do need to be individually responsible. And I guess the consensus kind of reality that has been is maybe sort of, I don't want to use the word awakening a little bit, but is becoming more aware of, yes, these structures of state, of government can be very benevolent and necessary, and there are some really positive things about rules, regulations, keeping people safe. But of course, there's also, as there is to everything, many sides to this particular coin. Anyway, I'm going on a bit too much. Let's see, traits for ease at this time over this Leo full moon, which is really largely about, enjoyment, the dramas of life, or the dramatic expression, beauty, being very open-hearted is what this full moon in Leo is all about. We have the Queen of Swords coming out. If we could combine that vitality with this level of detachment and discernment and clarity, I think that would be a great thing for these current times. Moving forward, we have 3 cards. Yeah, self-responsibility is very important at this time. Making sure the people around you are not only being looked after, but are feeling inspired, are feeling uplifted. I mean, really kind of have to keep this vitality going, this dialogue going, everything, in order to be able to move through this liminal space, which it is a liminal space, it's an uncomfortable space at this current time. So I'm in Aotearoa here in New Zealand, and I don't usually talk that much about, because it's not about, the channel's not about me, it's not about where I live. I don't usually talk about these things that much, but I do think it's kind of pertinent, and possibly people watching this channel would like to know a little bit more. Anyway, I'm in New Zealand, and of course here, because we are right at the bottom of the world, you could say, depending on what perspective you want to look at it, and Omicron is just taking off, whether you believe it, whether you whatever, it's just on an increase here. So we're kind of literally probably a few months behind Australia, which is just across the road. So, currently there are protests going on in Parliament and various other areas in New Zealand about the mandates. That's where we're at right now. So I think we're the last, possibly, maybe one of the last countries to sort of go through this, of which we have seen everywhere else. This is a collective sort of rumblings, and we're really we're kind of feeling it a bit here. But anyway, so moving forward on that note, I don't know what that is, we'll get rid of it. On that note, moving forward, we get 3 cards. We have card of catastrophic thinking, worry, pointless. It's pointless. It's the Nine of Swords. Worrying about what we do not have control over, right? We have the Magician, this beautiful Magus, Mercury, Tahuti, Thoth, a messenger moving from the heavens to the earth, translating and bringing information backwards and forwards through the realms, you could say. We need to really be our own magicians at this time and to cultivate that. Sometimes, and I don't think it's illusionary in my mind, sometimes we just need to bypass the general narrative that's occurring and focus on what we need and what the people in our vicinity and our community need at this time, not get swamped by these sort of various narratives that are going on in the world. Anyway, it's all very exciting, and we did appear on this earth. We were born probably reasonably prepared for something like this. Otherwise, maybe we would have just come out at a later date. Anyway, moving forward, Nine of Cups. Focus on what makes you happy. Your happiness, again, when we have the 9, we've got 3 9s here. This process of completing something, and I'm speaking collectively, a process of completing something has to be completed in order for something fresh and new to reinstate itself. The 9 of Cups is a beautiful card when we look at it in combination with that Magician and the 9 of Swords. We understand this is like a frequency, the worrying, the catastrophizing. It's a frequency that you get caught up in and you go round and round in. Break that cycle. Become your own magician in your world. Know what makes you happy. Focus on those things and expressing that to everyone in your physical vicinity, physical or non-physical, doesn't really matter. This is now. We can't be in the future at the same time, but we're certainly making the future right now. Anyhow, let's just get a pixie and fairy. I think it's time for a Brian Frood pixie and fairy today. It's been very humid here. A bit of a cyclone passing through, but didn't have that much of an impact where I am now. Yeah. I'd say, this independence, this feeling of completions, independence. We have the bright mother. This figure is a sort of can give and can take away. She's been around. She's been around the track many times. It's a powerful feminine energy that we see here. And this is something to take note of, to focus on this nurturing, very vital and empowered female energy. We have that with He of the Fiery Sword. Again, this is this thing about combinations. If we can have this combination, of knowing exactly what we really do value around us, really having a wonderful Venusian appreciation of those things with a clarity and detachment that's incredibly acute is the key here. I see these two mirror each other. And also the singer of intuition, which is a beautiful, beautiful card. We seek that in order to find our own personal truth, I suppose. Of course, guidance comes in many forms. And sometimes it helps to basically surrender to that. It doesn't mean you're not activating anything in this physical world. It just means that you surrender to the current climate. Focus on what's valuable for you. This is what I'm getting from this reading. What is valuable for you is going to enhance your relationships with your family and your community. Focus on square one. We need to keep calm in these times. So yeah, so that's what we have today. It's all kind of a little bit jumbled up maybe. That's what we get today. So check out your sun sign, Venus, Jupiter, your moon, ascendant as well. They'll be up later on this afternoon. We're just working through those. And for this Leo full moon this week, I'm going to do an empowerment reading because it's a wonderful 9-card spread with some clarification in that for you. So thanks for joining me again. Take care, take it easy, and yeah, we'll see you soon with your individual signs. Okay. Cheery.